Hello, it's Christy Gray, your newest hype girl and astrologer. Welcome to the Cosmic Hotline.
Why are we so obsessed with finding our purpose? 90% of the people I see don't know what to expect with astrology, and they don't know what questions to ask in the beginning. I can tell you that even people that don't have an agenda walking into a session, they'll normally want to know at least one of the big three life topics I get asked about, which are relationships, career, and you guessed it, purpose. So this leads me to question, why are we so obsessed with finding our purpose? Don't worry, babes, this was me once too. A late night internet hole I managed to dig myself into revealed the following. Purpose or doing something meaningful makes us happy. Or purpose is the holy grail of the obsessed and the reason for doing something or the reason for which someone or something exists. Or an entirely different view via Reddit because people need, want, and crave distraction in order to avoid boredom, amongst other things. I don't know if I necessarily agree with that one, but let me give you the textbook definition in psychology. Purpose is an abiding intention to achieve a long-term goal that is both personally meaningful and makes a positive mark on the world. So we all want it, but can astrology reveal ours? Your natal chart is your map of potential. It's not only who you are, but who you came here to be. And everything is interconnected. So as an astrologer, I would be doing a disservice to you if I was only looking at one thing. It's my job to see everything as a part of a greater whole. But because this is one of our cosmic deep dives, and it's my goal to empower you through the stars, I will be exploring one part of your natal chart with you today. And that, babes, is the nodes. So what's the 411 on the lunar nodes? For starters, they're not planets. They're mathematical calculations from the moon's orbit. They include 2 points. The first one is the south node. Now this is descending and it's related to where you've been. It has ties to past life influence and representative of karma. Some astrologers say, myself included, that your sun sign in a previous life is the zodiac sign your south node resides in this lifetime. Now, this makes a lot of sense because your south node, even if you're not into past lives, think of it like your comfort zone. It acts as a place of energy that you're naturally drawn to. Then we have your north node, and your north node is ascending, and it's related to where you're going. I refer to it as your North Star, and it's what you're here to grow into this lifetime. So if purpose isn't one tangible thing, because I don't believe it is, but I do believe it's a feeling that you are aiming to embody, this feeling is it. It's the positive expression of your North Node, the sign it's in, and the house it resides in. But I have a disclaimer. If our North Node embodiment was easy, baby, we'd all be doing it. So when it comes to start working with your own natal chart, check out the zodiac sign your south and north node are in, plus the houses that they fall into. When the nodes move into a new zodiac sign axis, they stay there for approximately 18 months. So anyone born around the same time that you were will have their nodes in the same zodiac signs. But your house placement is unique to you, as well as everything else in your natal chart. If you're looking to do your own cosmic deep dive with your natal chart this week, here's a few tips to start exploring your nodal axis. Number 1, check out what zodiac signs that your south node and north node reside in. The signs will be in opposition to each other on the zodiac wheel. Even though there's duality between two opposing signs, you would actually be surprised to learn that there is similarities between both as well. Take, for example, the Gemini-Sagittarius axis. So, Gemini is a mutable air sign. It's ruled by Mercury. It represents curiosity, freedom loving. It's a bit of a social butterfly. And it's also very good at skimming the surface of knowledge, spreading ideas, and knowing when something's past its expiry date. Whereas Sagittarius is all about expanding its worldview. It wants to broaden its horizons rather than skim the surface. It's ready to go to the depths. It needs to understand something or itself in something. It loves adventure. And so, Gemini and Sagittarius, even though they're quite different signs, Sagittarius being mutable fire, they're more similar than you might think. Keeping your South Node and zodiac signs in mind, also, check out the house placements. What do the houses represent? How are they related to the signs? Do the signs like being in these houses? Or is it energy that they're not used to? Plus, are there any planets connected to your nodes? And if so, how do you think that they're interacting together? My South Node and Neptune are in conjunction. They're 4 degrees apart, both in the sign of Sagittarius. Plus, you'll find them in my 5th house. I found it really hard in my 20s to be in control of my destiny. I was always allowing a leader or a manager to make a decision for me in my career, and I definitely was a yes babe. I would say yes to absolutely every opportunity, but what happened around my Saturn return and continued to my next Saturn activation at 35 was I kept coming up against this roadblock. Is this it? And I constantly asked myself this question. And the reason was is I was allowing other people to create my destiny for me rather than realizing I was powerful enough to create it myself. But as soon as I knew that, everything changed and I took inspiring action steps on a daily basis to create the life that I wanted. And I finally had the realization, because Neptune can sometimes make us a little delusional, is that once I realized that I could work with Neptune by embodying the energy of creativity and inspiration and use my intuition and trust my compass to guide me, everything changed. So, with all that being said, the celestial trick is to use everything you've already mastered, because remember, you've mastered everything your South Node represents, and channel all of that energy into your North Node, because that is you truly working with your natal chart's potential. Here's some juicy celeb examples to heat things up. They all have a sun in Leo at 28 degrees because Leo season is just around the corner. Dua Lipa is a British singer and disco pop goddess. She has a North Node in Libra and South Node in Aries. Her time of birth is unconfirmed, so I won't speculate on her house placements. But with these two combined, there can be a conflict between self and others. South Node and Aries people can be wildly independent. They're self-sufficient and they project an "I've got this" attitude. Whereas North Node in Libra is about finding balance within your relationships, even the one that you have with yourself. So, with these two signs combined, the objective is, how can you be open to other people's needs while also still making sure that you're meeting your own? Kim Cattrall, Canadian actress, best known for her role as Samantha in Sex and the City.
And I will not be judged by you or society. I will wear whatever and blow whomever I want as long as I can breathe and kneel.
Has a North Node Sagittarius and a South Node Gemini. South Node Gemini people are innately curious. Communication is definitely their strong suit. And they love to live a full life, moving from one thing to the next. But North Node in Sagittarius is about expanding your horizons and finding meaning behind your ideas and flexing your intellectual muscle. So with these two combined, the best approach is, how can you eliminate distractions while also following your heart? Next up, we have Khalees. American singer, best known for her song Milkshake. I may have requested her song Tasty and Milkshake on one too many occasions at Cafe Bleu in Christchurch on a Saturday night growing up. If you know, you know. South Node Pisces people can feel conflicted between dreams and reality, as they prefer to be swept up in their creativity and imagination. So with a South Node in Pisces, it means her North Node is in Virgo. And North Node Virgo people are here to be of service, to romanticize their life, because remember, South Node Pisces, and to combine everything they already have mastered, but use that energy to productively achieve anything they wish to accomplish. So how can they take that bigger picture vision and get granular? Because this particular axis is all about integration, baby. Okay, so if I've sparked your curiosity in this episode and you're keen to learn more, the best place to start is Astrology Unlocked. We'll explore how you can start stepping into the vibration of your higher self by diving into your key astrological placements and unpacking what they might have in store for you. When you know the foundations of your natal chart, you have the power to unlock so many opportunities for growth, expansion, and joy. You'll find Astrology Unlocked and access to my calendar to book your first session on my website, or send me an email, babe, at hello@christygray.com, as I'd love to hear from you. And of course, I'm always here to answer your questions. Okay, so the nodes aren't just reserved to our natal charts. They're also a part of transits too. The nodes stay in opposing zodiac signs for 18 months, inviting us to focus on an area we need to uplevel collectively. Prior to January 2022, the South Node was in Sagittarius and the North Node was in Gemini. I have some questions for you. During the pandemic, did you search for meaning, inspirational podcasts, and books to expand your worldview? Did you notice that the online world was really loud there for a hot minute? And it feels like sometimes that's continuing, as in some places, people started preaching their beliefs and criticizing others for theirs. You may have felt constantly preoccupied and restless. Or were you resourceful and deliberate no matter what the world threw at you? These are just some of the themes that were playing out with Gemini and Sagittarius influencing us collectively. In January 2022, the South Node moved into the sign of Scorpio and the North Node moved into the sign of Taurus. This combination is our astrological invitation to reassess our values and lean on our inner resources. And when I say inner resources, I'm talking talents, skills, mindset, and emotions as a source of empowerment. Plus, with Uranus and Taurus thrown in the mix and its ongoing squares to Saturn since 2021, we're seeing trends in cryptocurrency, environmentalism, and a global need to shake things up. If you're ready for your own internal revolution, leaning on the nodal energy that's inspiring us, take note of the 1st of August 2022, as we're going to have 3 key placements meet in the sky, which hasn't happened since 324 BC. And you can read everything you need to know via an article I wrote for Body and Soul, and you'll find it linked in the show notes below. If you've made it this far, the question is, can astrology reveal your destiny? In my opinion, destiny is cultivated, but you can always glimpse the stars to reveal yours. The only caveat is you need to stop searching outside of yourself for the answer, because maybe it's been inside of you all along. I'll be back next week with an episode to support your new moon in Leo, babes. Plus, I'm going to try and answer more than one question, because I've had a few come through that involve karmic connections, cosmic connections, and boyfriends on the horizon. So I will see you next week for another episode of the Cosmic Hotline.